Which electric midsize SUV is better, the Tesla Model Y or the new Porsche Macan? Well, in this episode, we are going to find out. The standard Porsche Macan 4 electric starts at around $79,000, and the turbo electric starts at around $105,000. The Model Y rear-wheel drive starts at around $44,000. The long range starts at around $49,000, and the performance starts at around $52,000. The Model Y looks very clean and smooth on the outside. On the front you have these nice looking headlights, and then there's no grille, since it's electric. On the side, I really like how the door handles are integrated into the door, and the windows are huge. At the back it looks pretty decent, but I love the way the charge port is integrated into the taillights. That makes it look so much better, since you don't have to have an extra cutout for the charge port. Now it's a pretty heavy vehicle, it weighs over 4,100 pounds, but its super clean and smooth body means it will be very aerodynamic, and it's got some key features to help with that. The body panels are nice and smooth, the wheels are designed in a way to cut through the air as efficiently as possible, the bonnet is sloped, allowing it to cut through the air more efficiently, and the roof is curved. All of this results in a drag coefficient of 0.23 CD. 0.23 CD, that's really good. The Macan is much more complex in its design. On the front, you have those beautiful looking daytime running lights, and then the actual headlights are located below. You also have this huge vent at the bottom. At the side, it has traditional handles compared to the Tesla, but the windows are also very big. One thing though I'm not a big fan of is that black plastic at the bottom of the doors, and also it has an extra cutout for the charge port, which I don't really like. However, the back is pretty nice. You have this really cool looking light bar. Now the Model Y is pretty heavy, but this thing is way heavier. It weighs over 5,200 pounds. That's about 11,000 pounds more than the Model Y's weight. And this vehicle is also pretty aerodynamic, and it also has some key features to help with that, such as a rear folding spoiler located below the windscreen, the front air vents automatically close when there's no cooling needed, the body panels are very smooth, the wheels are also designed to cut through the air as efficiently as possible, and just like with the Model Y, the bottom of this vehicle is completely flat, since it's electric. This results in a drag coefficient of 0.25 CD, which is also very good. However, I do prefer the slightly sportier design of the Porsche Macan. But which exterior design do you guys prefer? Let me know in the comments down below. The Model Y's interior is super minimal. There aren't really any buttons at all, and that's because every single car control is on the touchscreen. It's a very nice 15-inch display. Now, you do not get a driver's display, and neither do you get a heads-up display, which means that while driving you have to look to your side to view essential information, which is a little inconvenient, but it is a very nice big display, and I really love that super clean look. The glass roof is beautiful. It lets loads of light into the cabin, and it makes it feel very spacious inside. It's a very nice place to be in. Now there is the optional 7-seater pack, but it's not really worth it because there's very little room for those seats. But apart from that, it's a very spacious cabin, and the interior quality is pretty good. In a lot of the places you have soft touch materials, and everything is very solidly put together in Teslas nowadays. For the comfort features, you get heated seats and a heated steering wheel. There are no ventilated seats, but in the future Tesla will be adding it to the Model Y, and overall, it's a very nice cabin. It's just not as luxurious as the Porsche's interior. There's a lot more going on in here. I love the design. There are physical buttons, there's ambient lighting, there's physical vents, there's a driver's display, which makes it much easier to view essential data when driving. It also gets a heads-up display, which is really nice, just like the rest of this cabin. It's a super luxurious place. I love the way it has ambient lighting, which looks really good at night. I also really love the dark headliner. It looks a lot better than the Model Y's headliner. One thing though that is not as good as the Model Y is the center display. One, it's 11 inches compared to 15 inches in the Model Y, and also there's less you can do with this display, but still it's a very luxurious interior, and the interior quality is very good. You have expensive feeling materials pretty much everywhere, and everything is very solidly put together. For the interior comfort features, you get heated seats, front ventilated seats, and a heated steering wheel. Overall, I do prefer the Porsche's interior more than the Model Y's, but which interior do you guys prefer? Let me know in the comments down below. The Porsche Macan has 3 displays as standard, 2 in the front, 1 in the back. In the front you have your driver's display and the center display which provides vehicle controls. The rear display provides climate controls. You can get the optional 11-inch passenger display which works just like the center display. There's over-the-air updates, so as you own your Porsche Macan, it gets better over time. There's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's also the optional Burmester 3D sound system. It's a 21-speaker sound system that produces a total of 1,470 watts. That's insane. It also has augmented reality in the heads-up display, which is really cool and convenient. And it is overall pretty high-tech. It's just nowhere near as high-tech though as the Model Y. It gets only one display as standard. The single 15-inch display provides every single vehicle control. There's over-the-air updates, so as you own your Tesla Model Y, it gets better over time. It does not have Apple CarPlay nor Android Auto, but you don't really need it considering how good the system is in the Tesla. It already has those essential applications that you need, such as Google Maps, web browser, Apple Music, Spotify, all this kind of applications. And then when you enable the navigation, it will show the different supercharger locations in your route that you will have to stop and charge your vehicle at. It's really convenient. You can also pair your phone with the vehicle, allowing you to use it as the key. You can play games and watch different videos on this beautiful display, and it has so many more cool features. It has a HEPA filter, which helps to prevent 99.9% of harmful gases entering the cabin. And just like the Porsche, it has a surround view, which is super helpful for parking. There's Pin to Drive. When you enable this feature, you'll have to create a passcode that you will be entering before driving the vehicle. That way the Model Y never gets stolen. You can also set a passcode for the glove box, rather than those traditional keys. There's also Dog Mode. So when you leave your pet inside, this feature will keep the climate on and display a message letting people outside know the pet inside is safe. And then you can view the interior camera through the Tesla app and then check to make sure your pet is safe. There's also Sentry Mode, which uses the exterior cameras for the driving assistance systems as security cameras to record for suspicious activity around your vehicle when you're outside. And if it captures something, it will save that into its built-in dash cam, which comes as standard. When you get back inside, you can view those clips, and also you can view those cameras through the Tesla app. For major threats, it will trigger the alarm system and send a notification to your phone. It's super high-tech, this vehicle. It's got way more features than the Porsche. The Porsche Macan's trunk has up to 47.6 cubic foot of space, and then you have an additional 2.9 cubic foot of space in the front trunk. It has a total cargo capacity of 50.5 cubic foot, and it has a payload capacity of about 1,200 pounds. And then finally, it can tow up to 4,400 pounds. The Model Y though has a lot more space. The trunk has up to 76 cubic foot of space, and the front has up to 4.1 cubic foot of space, which is really impressive. So it has a total cargo capacity of 80.1 cubic foot. It also has a better payload capacity as well. It has a payload capacity of up to 1,300 pounds. It can't tow as much though. It can tow up to 3,500 pounds. But overall, the Model Y is better for carrying stuff. The Model Y rear-wheel drive has one electric motor, making 295 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. It also has a 60 kilowatt-hour battery pack that has up to 260 miles of range and can charge at up to 170 kilowatts. The Model Y long range has two electric motors. Combined, you have 435 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. It also has an 82 kilowatt-hour battery pack that has up to 310 miles of range and can charge at up to 250 kilowatts. The Model Y Performance also has two electric motors, but they make 505 horsepower and 495 pound-feet of torque. It also has an 82 kilowatt-hour battery pack, but it has up to 285 miles of range, and it can also charge at up to 250 kilowatts. The Porsche Macan 4 Electric has two electric motors. Combined, they make 382 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Now this vehicle has something called overboost power, so when you enable the launch control, it will temporarily increase the power. So with the 4 Electric, that makes 402 horsepower in total. It also has a 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack that has up to 381 miles of range and can charge at up to 270 kilowatts. The Turbo Electric has two electric motors, which make 576 horsepower and 833 pound-feet of torque. 833 pound-feet of torque, that's insane! And then when you enable launch control, that makes 630 horsepower. It also gets a 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack that has up to 367 miles of range and can charge at up to 270 kilowatts. Now, both of these vehicles get a single-speed automatic transmission. So then, how quick can these vehicles actually go? Well, the Model Y rear-wheel drive can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.6 seconds, and it has a top speed of 135 miles per hour. The long range can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.8 seconds, and also has a top speed of 135 miles per hour. The performance can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds, and it has a top speed of 155 miles per hour. However, the Porsche Macan is slightly faster. The standard 4 electric can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.9 seconds, and it has a top speed of 136 miles per hour. The turbo electric can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.1 seconds. 3.1 seconds, that's insanely quick, and it has a top speed of 161 miles per hour. The Model Y has spring suspension, making it more agile and nimble. However, since it's very heavy, the suspension has to be firmer to reduce body roll, which means that it could be quite shaky when driving. However, since it's electric, there's that instant torque which significantly improves the acceleration. Also, there's lots of power in this thing, and the regenerative braking makes the driving experience a whole lot easier, since you don't have to constantly press on the brake pedal. So when you lift your foot off the accelerator, the vehicle will automatically stop, and it's very good for the battery, because while it stops, it recharges the battery at the same time, increasing the efficiency. And the battery pack provides a low center of gravity since it's mounted at the bottom, which improves the handling and reduces the risk of this vehicle rolling over. And the traction is really good with the all-wheel drive system, and it has a bunch of self-driving features. There's autopilot as standard, which includes adaptive cruise control and auto steer to keep you inside the lane, and also it can use the navigation system to drive in the direction based on your route. It can change lanes on its own as well. You can also pay extra for the full self-driving package, allowing the Model Y to drive completely by itself. You do still have to be seated in the driver's seat, and you do have to watch what the vehicle is doing because it's not fully autonomous yet, but it is super advanced. It also has automatic emergency braking, so in case of an emergency, the vehicle will automatically stop. There's lane departure avoidance, preventing the vehicle from darting out of its lane. There's blind spot warning, obstacle-aware acceleration, which reduces motor torque when close to obstacles while parking, and may apply brakes if you get too close to an object. And then it can also park by itself. The Porsche Macan has a much better suspension system. It gets Porsche's latest active air suspension and adaptive dampers, so you can adjust the ride height based on the road conditions, and also you can alter the firmness, so you can set it to a softer setting on casual trips, allowing the vehicle to go smoother over bumps, making the driving experience more comfortable, or you can set it to a stiffer setting on spirited drives, which will make the vehicle more agile and nimble, just like with the spring suspension system in the Model Y. The regenerative braking makes the driving experience so much easier. It's really nice that you don't have to constantly press the brake pedal, and it increases the efficiency. Also, there's so much power in this vehicle, which significantly improves the acceleration thanks to the instant torque. And the low center of gravity provides better handling and reduces the risk of the vehicle rolling over. The traction is also very good with the all-wheel drive system. It also has rear-wheel steering. With that, making U-turns and maneuvering through tight spaces at low speeds is going to be so much easier. It reduces the turning circles so much, and at higher speeds, it makes the vehicle more stable. It does not have that many self-driving features though, like the Model Y does. It has Porsche's InnoDrive, which has adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist to keep inside the lane, but it costs extra. There's also lane change assist, automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning assistant, and blind spot monitoring. Overall, the Porsche is slightly comfier than the Model Y, but still the Model Y is fun and sporty to drive. So which is better, the Tesla Model Y or the Porsche Macan? This is a tough one. Porsche has done an excellent job with their Macan, but the Model Y is slightly better. It may not be as luxurious or as good to drive as the Porsche, but it starts at a lower price and at the same time has more features included in it. The Porsche Macan is very expensive, and a lot of its features cost extra cash. That is not the case with the Model Y. It starts at a much lower price, and has way more features in it. It's also a lot more spacious, it still has a very nice interior, it's powerful, and is also good to drive. And that is why the Tesla Model Y is better than the Porsche Macan. But the Porsche Macan is a very good car. Do you guys agree though? Let me know in the comments down below which vehicle do you guys prefer. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode.